Grab your cup. When you show up for yourself over and over again, consistently, on a daily basis, you're going to find a whole shift in how your life goes and in how you feel inside. When you show up for yourself with enough regularity, you will no longer find yourself willing to tolerate people in your life who don't show up for you. When you practice daily things that have you feel nurtured, things that acknowledge you, you start to change your internal beliefs. The internal beliefs of, I'm not important. The internal beliefs of, I'm not worthy. Thinking that you need to do everything for everybody else in order to be important. Thinking that acknowledgement has to come from other people outside of you. When you show up for yourself, all of that takes a little while, but all of that falls away. And you start to have the experience of worthiness. You have the experience inside of you of being lovable because you've been doing that for yourself. So when I say show up for yourself, here are some examples. When you consistently uphold standards for what you're willing to tolerate, behaviors from other people, what you're willing to do in terms of output for other people. If you set up standards, which to my mind are different than boundaries because they're managing yourself rather than other people. But if you want, you can think of boundaries. When you set those up and you consistently uphold them, that's one way of showing up for yourself. Another way of showing up for yourself is shining a spotlight on the negative self-talk that's always running. You know, we could call it the itty bitty shitty committee that lives in your head and talks mostly negatively about you. When you shine a light on there and you shut that committee up and you start to say things to yourself that are of very different nature, that point out what's great about you, that's showing up for yourself. Showing up for yourself is also having loving discipline. So when I say that, I mean doing the things that your body needs: movement, good food, consistent sleep, rest. And when we do those things, doing it from a place of love. I'm saying that because I used to do plenty of exercise, very, very militant about my exercise, and I know a lot of people are. And what happens is when they take a day off, they beat themselves up. They tell themselves, you know, they're not good enough. See, you never do it right. Like there's a shaming and a almost like an angry or a militant sense to the discipline of movement and exercise or how they eat. And when you can shift that to, I'm lovingly taking care of myself because this makes my body feel good, this promotes longevity, all of the things, but you do it with love, like the energy behind the choices and behaviors. That's showing up for yourself rather than beating yourself up over what you're supposed to do or not do. When you consistently put into place on a daily basis those things that make you feel good, when you say no to the things that don't make you feel good, whether it's requests from other people, whether it's working more, whether it's tolerating the way people speak to you, when you say no to those things, you're showing up for yourself. And over time, there's just a sense of worthiness and importance and acknowledgement that you've developed for yourself. And that's really all that you need. You don't need it from anybody else. That's the illusion. We think we've got to get it from out there. So how are you showing up for yourself? If you want to have some tools around that, some coaching around that, there's lots of ways that I work with people, and that's one of the most important things I think that you can do is learn how to show up for yourself, learn how to change that negative self-talk, and put those behaviors and choices into place every day. So I would love to talk with you, someone on my team. Go ahead and put chat in the comments if this is the year for you to show up for yourself and to change that internal monologue about your worthiness, your lovability, what you can be acknowledged for, how hard you have to work. Okay? It's time. Let's talk.